Teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg joining a protest in London on Friday. Demonstrators targeted London's financial district to call for an end in fossil fuel investment. It comes as a climate summit kicks off in Scotland tomorrow, where world leaders will try to keep global warming in check. Coal made up nearly a third of planet-warming carbon emissions in 2018, and critics say countries need to cast it aside at a much faster rate. But in the UK, where coal was once king, its use has been plummeting. From northern England, Roxana Saberi shows us how it's being done.
This used to be the UK's biggest power plant fueled by coal. Now it's one of the last.
There's very little coal left here now.
Jason Chipstone, a manager at Drax, says the plant will stop using coal to produce electricity next year. 2 years after that, the entire country is set to follow.
Is this the future of power?
Yeah, we believe so.
Drax has been transitioning to a different kind of fuel. Transported by train here to northern England, wood.
Around 15 of these trains arrive here each day. Each one carries enough wood pellets to power around 800 homes for 1 year.
We take sawdust as residues from things like sawmills, so all of the other bits of the tree that people don't generally want.
Coal is relatively simple to store. You can leave it outside here for years, but biomass has to be kept dry and at controlled temperatures. So Drax built these massive storage domes. They stretch over 200 feet tall, and together they hold over 300,000 tons of wood pellets.
Biomass now generates around 8% of the country's power. Drax says it's much cleaner than coal.
We believe it's completely environmentally friendly. It's a part of the energy transition that we have to go through.
We just don't know what the real emissions are.
Energy analyst Phil McDonald says a switch to large-scale wood burning isn't necessarily better than burning coal.
It's reducing the carbon stored in forests, and it's also having all these knock-on biodiversity impacts. We have an alternative which is very low risk, which is using wind and solar.
The UK is moving in that direction. Coupled with closing down coal plants, the country has cut its carbon emissions faster than any other major economy in the past decade. Renewable energy is getting cheaper, while the government charges big polluters a high price for carbon emissions.
How big a deal is this for this country?
I think it is a big deal because the Industrial Revolution began here, and it was built on the back of coal.
Coal powered homes, trains, and factories, helping Britain expand its empire.
London was enveloped in a 40-mile belt of fog.
But in 1952, the country's coal addiction spewed smog so thick and toxic in London, it killed thousands. The crisis convinced the country to look for cleaner forms of fuel.
Can other countries do the same thing?
Yeah, when we look at places like China or India that still have a lot of coal on the system, the switch to fully clean power can happen very quickly.
Even in the U.S., coal plants are shutting down, but it's far too early to count coal out. Globally, coal use is rebounding this year, and environmentalists are calling on several countries to ditch this dirtiest of fossil fuels faster. Back at Drax, Jenny Stanley says she's proof that new jobs can be created in the process.
How important is this plant to the communities around here?
It's the main focus, really. So I see this from my bedroom window. Right,
the company trained the 25-year-old as a civil engineer, who now helps in their biomass operation.
As small as it is my job, maybe as small as it is right now, it could be a knock-on effect to ensure that we reach that goal of ensuring that our planet sustains and survives.
She hopes Britain will inspire other countries to kick their coal habits, a goal that grows more urgent by the day. For CBS Saturday Morning, Roxana Saberi, Selby, England.
And it makes a difference. I remember going to London in the 80s and it being a gray city, going there in the 90s, and it was just sunny skies everywhere. It's amazing.
But the two things you think about, the jobs, that how do you replace those for those who are in
Right.
the coal industry, and then maybe the one way you do some of this is those high price tags on the carbon emissions. You force the hand
Incentives.
of these businesses.
And the other issues involved here in burning the wood pellets, which people may not have thought about before. But
Right. No easy solution.
there is no easy solution. That is exactly right.
But at least they are facing facts.